Listen to the Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. Level A2, Oxford Reading University. Part 2. You will find Part 1 here and in the description.
You have stolen a car and fought with a police officer. Now you are going to spend 20 years in prison, the judge said. Criminal, crazy animal, the jury shouted in response. Mr. Toad was locked in the farthest ancient tower of the oldest prison in England. There he spent his days crying over his bad luck. Why didn't I listen to my friends? He kept asking himself. One day a girl came to visit him. She was the prison guard's daughter. Tell me more about yourself, your home, and your friends, she asked. Mr. Toad was very pleased. He was certain that the girl was in love with him, but in fact she just loved animals. I live in a huge palace and all my friends respect me, he said, and the girl laughed. As time passed, she began to feel sorry for Mr. Toad. She wanted to help him run away. Soon she came up with a plan. My aunt works here as a washerwoman, she told him. If you pay her, she will give you some of her clothing. No one will recognize you if you wear it. You will be able to run away. It was very difficult for Mr. Toad to go against his gentleman's principles and wear ladies' clothing. When the girl saw him, she laughed. You look exactly like my aunt. Mr. Toad escaped from prison and made his way to the train station. He didn't have any money, so he couldn't buy a ticket. But he was lucky to meet an engine driver. In his most polite manner, Mr. Toad said to him, Sir, can you help me? I am a poor washerwoman. I need to go home, but I have no money. The driver felt bad for the woman and agreed to give her a ride. As soon as they left the town, another train appeared behind them. It was full of police officers. Stop, a loud voice shouted. There is a criminal on your train. What could poor Mr. Toad do? He told the engine driver his true story. I am not a washerwoman. I am a simple toad who has just been unlucky, he cried. All I did was take a car for a ride. I never meant to steal it.
If you want more English audiobooks with translations and transcriptions, try Eva app today. Listen, read, learn new words, and dive into the world of adventure, crime, romance, and magic every day.
What a story, the driver said. You are a very bad toad, but I can't stand it when animals cry. I will help you. And the driver picked up speed, moving away from the police train. When they reached a dark tunnel near the forest, he stopped the train to give Mr. Toad some time to run away. Although he was in a strange dark forest, Mr. Toad couldn't believe his luck. He was free. He climbed a tree and fell asleep. 5. It was the end of summer. The air was still warm and the sun was bright, but the leaves on the trees were slowly changing color. The rat felt sad. He knew that many of his friends were going to leave their homes answering the call of the south. One day he lay to rest under a tree by the river. What a lovely place, a low voice said. The rat opened his eyes. Before him stood another rat, old and thin. He was wearing dirty clothes and gold rings in his ears. He introduced himself as the traveler. I am certain life here is nice and quiet, the traveler said, but my heart belongs to the south. I am a seafaring rat. I know all the ports from Constantinople to England, and to me, there is nothing sweeter than the sound of the waves, and nothing dearer than the songs of the sailors. "Please tell me more about it," the rat asked excitedly. The traveler told many stories about strong winds and dangerous nights at sea. He spoke of the bright lights of big cities and the songs of sailors. The rat became very excited. "And now I must leave," the traveler said. "I shall go on until the fresh sea breeze blows in my face. We may continue our journey together if you decide to join me." The rat didn't remember how he got home. All his thoughts were already racing south. At home, he ran into the mole. "I am going south immediately," he said. It took the mole a lot of time to put his dear friend to rest. "Why don't you write a poem instead?" the mole suggested when the rat was finally quiet. "You haven't written anything in many days." After some time, the rat forgot all his dreams of the south. The mole was pleased. 6. Mr. Toad was angry and sad. He missed his comfortable palace and hated his life in the forest. One day, he came to a river and saw a woman in a large boat. He learned that she was going to the village near Toad Palace. The woman agreed to take him aboard. On their way, they started a conversation. "I am the best washerwoman around," Mr. Toad cried and laughed. "Very good," the woman replied. "I don't have time to wash my clothes at all. Could you take a bar of soap and wash my underwear?" He had no other choice but to do as she asked. "Even a stupid animal could do that, and I am very clever," Mr. Toad thought. But the more he tried, the dirtier the underwear got. The woman laughed at him. "What is so funny?" he cried. "I am not some poor washerwoman, I am Mr. Toad." "A toad?" the woman asked angrily. "I will not allow a dirty toad to stay on my clean boat." The woman caught Mr. Toad and threw him into the water. When Mr. Toad reached land, he was cold and wet. He walked along the river until he found a country road. He saw a car coming from the distance. Then he realized that he knew that car very well. "That is the one I have stolen. They are going to put me in prison again," he thought. He lost his senses and fell to the ground. The driver took Mr. Toad for a very ill woman. He stopped the car and took Mr. Toad inside. "We shall take her to the village," he told his friend. When Mr. Toad heard these words, he became happy again. "Maybe I can enjoy driving again," he thought. He jumped to his feet and asked the gentleman for permission to drive his car. "I am the great Mr. Toad, and I am the best at driving," he shouted. Both gentlemen recognized him at once. They started fighting. They were so busy hitting each other that nobody paid any attention to the road. The driver lost control of his car, and it ended up at the bottom of a lake. Mr. Toad got out safely, but as soon as he reached land, he heard footsteps and loud, angry voices. Police officers were running after him. Scared to death, Mr. Toad ran away. "I will never drive again," he promised to himself. He ran so quickly that he failed to notice a river in front of him. He fell into the cold water and nearly died. Fortunately, he managed to hold on to a tree and climbed onto it. There was a small hole in the ground. 2 attentive eyes were watching him closely from the dark. It was the water rat. 7. Mr. Toad took a bath and changed his wet clothes. He was excited to tell his friend about his wild adventures. But the rat only gave him an angry look. "Don't you realize what a stupid animal you have made of yourself?" he asked. Mr. Toad was a very kind-hearted animal. He was never angry with his friends. "You are right, Ratty," he said quietly, almost crying. "I am sorry. I have had enough of dangerous adventures. I will go back home, lead a quiet life, and take care of my friends." The rat jumped to his feet. "Go back home? Well, haven't you heard? The animals decided that you were never going to return. One day, your house was attacked by weasels. They have lived there ever since, and they are going to stay there forever." Mr. Toad hung down his head. "Don't be sad, my friend," the rat said. "We will wait for our friends. Soon we are going to win back your palace. And now let's have dinner." Their friends returned in the evening. They were happy to see Mr. Toad again. "The weasels are watching the palace," the mole reported. "They have guns. It is impossible to get close to them." "This is my house, and I will fight for it," Mr. Toad cried. He was out of his mind. They started arguing and shouting at each other. Then Mr. Badger raised his voice, and they fell quiet. "Enough! I have a plan. Mr. Toad, you are certainly the stupidest and the least careful animal. But your father was a dear friend of mine. He told me many things about your house. There is a secret underground tunnel in your palace. We are going to use it and attack the enemies when they least expect it." 8. Mr. Toad woke up late the following morning. His friends were ready for the attack. The mole seemed to have some great news to share with Mr. Toad. "I went to the palace today," he shouted. "I wore your washerwoman's clothes, and the weasels didn't recognize me. I talked to the guard. Now they know that thousands of angry rats, badgers, and toads with guns and sticks will soon attack the palace. They are scared to death." "What a stupid thing to do," Mr. Toad cried. "Now they know our secret." But Mr. Badger didn't let him finish. "My friend, you have more intelligence in one finger than some animals have in their brains," he said to the mole. Mr. Toad didn't understand why. They climbed down the cold, narrow tunnel. When they were right under Toad Palace, they heard music and singing. "Our enemies are having a party," Mr. Badger laughed. They saw a broken board over their heads and pushed it to the side. They climbed up and found themselves inside Toad Palace. At the end of the hallway was a huge door. The noises came from behind that door. Mr. Badger broke the door open. The enemies jumped to their feet and ran for their lives, pushing each other to the ground. "Mole, you have scared them so much that we don't even need to fight them," Mr. Badger laughed. "Thank you, Mole," Mr. Toad said quietly to his friend. "You are very clever." "Now you speak like a good animal," Mr. Badger said, smiling. Soon the hall was empty, with only a few weasels lying on the ground. The following day, Mr. Badger ordered Mr. Toad to write invitations to a party. They were going to celebrate his return to the palace. In his many letters, Mr. Toad promised to arrange music and dances for the guests, as well as give a speech and perform a couple of songs himself. He promised to tell many great stories about his adventures. But Mr. Badger read one of the letters and became angry. "There will be no songs and speeches at the party," he said. "This is a new beginning of your life. You should win people's respect and not make them laugh at you." Mr. Toad was quiet for some time. Then he said, "I promise I won't cause any more trouble." The guests arrived and asked Mr. Toad many questions. "You are so brave," they said. "You drove the weasels out of the palace so easily." But he just smiled in response and said, "It is all thanks to my friends." When the guests asked him to make a speech or perform a song, he refused politely. Soon they realized that the old Mr. Toad was gone. The new one was a serious and careful animal. Time passed, and the friends returned to their everyday lives. Mr. Toad sent a gold piece of jewelry to the prison guard's kind daughter, as well as some money to the engine driver. On warm summer evenings, the friends went for a walk in the wild wood. It was no longer dangerous. All the animals greeted them politely, and the mother weasels told their young ones, "Look, these are the great heroes, Toad, Rat, and Mole. When you grow up, you will be just like them. And if you don't behave, the scary Mr. Badger will get you." In fact, Mr. Badger loved children. I have no idea why the little ones were so afraid of him.